I'm going to show you how to do a really simple wreath just using a dollar store candy cane frame and some ribbon. Now this ribbon is 2.5 inches, so make sure you get a good quality ribbon that's at least 2.5 inches to do this. And the way you're going to start is it's just a simple wrapping of this wreath form. And to start, you're going to just wrap this ribbon onto this frame just like you were wrapping a Christmas present. So you're just wanting to cover that frame. And I'm going to use a little bit of glue from my hot glue gun to do this. So just wrapping it up just like you were going to wrap a present, and you want all the ends to go under. And I'm just using my hot glue gun to secure that. And be careful because it's really easy to burn yourself. I have these little finger, I think they're called finger cots maybe, and they're rubber. And you can just, I got them at Amazon. And it's very helpful when you're wanting to hold that in place so you don't burn your fingers. It's like having gloves on. You feel like you're kind of out of sorts. But see how I just wrapped that? That's the front side. That's the back side. Just wrapping it like a Christmas present to get started. And once you get that wrapped, you're ready to go. And you can just start going around your wreath frame. So let me get some ribbon out. I feel like I'm backwards to it. I feel like a left-handed person would feel. So just wrapping it around and keep it kind of tight so you don't want any gaps or anything. And every about second or third one, whenever I feel like it, I'm just going to put a few drops or a line of hot glue just to keep that in place when I get around to it. And I found that it's easier if you twist your wire rather than twist your ribbon. Because when you twist your ribbon, it just gets all tangled up. So let's do another bit of glue. And like I said, all that does is just hold it in place, making it so it doesn't move. And there's no set number of times. I just do every 2 or 3. Let's move that out of the way. How are you guys doing? Are you getting ready for Thanksgiving? I know Thanksgiving is going to be so different for most of us this year. I'm used to having a big family Thanksgiving, and I love it. I usually start on Monday by setting my table and getting everything on my table just the way I want it. And then Jeff's favorite thing is peanut butter fudge. So I always make lots of peanut butter fudge, and I usually do that. I have a little schedule that I follow, and I usually do that on Monday as well. Now this year it's going to be a lot more laid back, so I still think I'm going to make him some fudge tonight, but I'll definitely make a much smaller amount than I normally do. So we're doing that, and then I usually have, oh my gosh, I usually have to bring extra tables up to set places on. And this year we're just gonna have very small, just our immediate family, and which that will be Jeff and I, Kyla and Evan and the kids, and my mom and Bob. So much, much, much smaller. I usually do 2 turkeys. This year I'm just gonna do 1. We usually also do them in the deep fryer outside. Jeff deep fries both of them. So that is not on my thought process at all. The turkey or turkeys, he gets them all ready and he stays out there with them while he deep fries them, and oh my gosh, they're so good. But this year, you know, that oil is pretty expensive, so I just said, hey, let's just go back and do it a little more simple, and I'm just going to do it in my roaster. Now, when you get to the curve in the candy cane, that's a little more tedious. You know, you want to try to keep it from bunching up. But I'm going to put a nice bow on the outside of this, and I'm going to look and see if I have any picks. I probably have some really cute picks for Christmas that I could probably add to the bow. But I just love this little simple wreath. I hope you do too. And then once we get Thanksgiving out of the way, I guess then we'll start with Christmas. I actually went over a couple weeks ago and helped my daughter decorate for Christmas. We did some family pictures yesterday over there, so she wanted to have, see how that's already all twisting up? She wanted to have her house decorated for Christmas for those pictures. So we went ahead and did that. And since I'm not going to be home for Christmas this year, I did not, I'm not going to decorate. I did get, Parker has a little white tree that he puts up, a little snowman tree. I did get that out for him, and I hope on Thanksgiving he can get busy at decorating it. And I already got their presents for Christmas. So since I'm not going to be here, I asked Kyla if she wanted just to wait till I got back in January to do Christmas, and she said no, it was her birthday in January, so we're going to go ahead and just exchange presents on during Thanksgiving this year. This will be the first time in a long time I'll be away at Christmas. But what a year to do it when we're in a major pandemic and everything is pretty much a no-go. So what are your plans? See how pretty that's looking? And that's just ribbon, just wrapped around this wreath frame from the Dollar Tree. Now, sometimes it's hard to find Dollar Tree items But you do know you can go to I'm not sure if I think it's dollartree.com. They have a website. And I have bought things from the website. Now, the kicker is you have to buy in bulk. So, I don't know how many of these wreath frames you would have to buy. But you could get with your friends and see who wants one and maybe, you know, buy a box of them. If they're delivered to your local Dollar Tree, you don't have to pay shipping. But if you ship to your home, you do have to pay shipping. I keep getting that tangled with my stuff. Okay, so here I am at the end, and I'm going to be doing the same thing that I did in the beginning. I'm just going to want to wrap it like a present. So let me do one more time around here. And I'm going to go ahead and just snip it. Get that out of the way. Go ahead and glue. And you might want to just like turn that in and glue it in like that so you have a nice finished edge of your ribbon. And then I'm going to tuck it under. And remember, I'm just wrapping it like a present. And then I'm just going to glue it right there so there's not an opening. Oh, well, so I better move it into the camera. Glue it right there so there's not an opening. Got a little bit too much glue on that. So there we got it. A candy cane wrapped. Okay, now I'm going to make a bow to go right here on the wreath form. Oh my goodness, let's see, we've got some red and some green and some white. Let's see, what kind of bow would we want to do? Oh, I think that one would be pretty. I think I have a whole roll of that over here. I think I'm going to make the bow with this. And what else do I have? That one might be pretty. I think I'll do two ribbons. I'll do this one and this one. And I'll have this one as they're both the same size. So, if want to do the smaller one too. It's 30 feet. It's a 1.5 inch. Little Santas on it. Sometimes it's hard to get. I don't want to cut my ribbon, which I think I may have. Okay, so I've got a little that I just threw off the little spool holder. So this helps when you're making your bows if you can put them on a little spool holder. So yeah, I'm going to use a Bodabra to make a bow for my candy cane wreath. And I've chosen these 3 ribbons. It's a 1.5 inch, a 2.5 inch, and another 2.5 inch. So I'm just going to lay them on top of each other. And I'm going to make a tail. I'm going to do like a 10, I think I'm going to do a 12 inch tail this time. So, and then where I want to do my tail, I just want to gather it in, pinch it really tight, and then that's going to be my tail. So to use the Bodabra, now the Bodabra does come with some type of a wire, but you don't have to use what it comes with. I mean, when you run out of it, you don't have to go out and buy Bodabra wire. A lot of times I'll use just a chenille stem. You can also use floral wire, and you can use a zip tie. So there's several things you can do, but just place your chenille stem down into your Bodabra. And then when you get your tail, place your ribbons into the Bodabra as well. So there's our tail. Now the first thing we want to do, once we've got it pinched and placed in there, is we want to flip all the ribbon upside down, because you know I've got it 3 ribbons going into this. Instead of doing 3 bows and adding them together, I've just added 3 ribbons together to make a 3 ribbon bow. And I need to keep them as straight together as I can. So upside down, you want to bottoms up. So you pinched it, you stuck it down through there, and then you twisted it bottom side up. And then you're going to make a loop with that, trying to keep all of these ribbons stacked on top of each other. So then I'm just going to gather it again. That looks like that turned. It did. Okay, so because you remember on this side it's the right side. So I'm going to gather it again and slide it down through the Bodabra. Now there is I think I want my loop to be just a bit bigger. So there's one loop. Pinched and slid down. So let me turn it this way so you can see both sides. Then we've got to do the same thing over here. We're going to keep our ribbon stacked on top of each other. And we're going to twist it to put the bottom up. So we want the bottoms up. All 3 of these ribbons. And then we're going to make a bunny ear. So we're going to loop it back on top of each other. And pinch it and slide it down. Now here's where you want to make sure that each of your bunny ears or bunny loops, whatever, are the same size. You don't want one bigger than the other. So I use my Bodabra to measure that. So there's that one. Well, let's measure this one up. So they're about the same size. This one may be a little bit bigger. And just to make it smaller, you just pull it through a little bit more. So let's check that one again. Yeah, that does look just about to be even. So there we have 2. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pinch, make sure it's pinched together. And then we're going to flip it up, roll it up to put the bottom side up. And like I said, because I've chosen to do 3 ribbons, it's a little harder to see and a little harder. You could do 3 separate ribbons to make this bow if you wanted. And also it's taken a little bit longer because I'm explaining it. So now we've got the wrong side up. We're going to want to make a bunny loop or a bunny ear. This might be easier if these were up here instead of on the side. Keeping these as on top of each other and as straight together as we can. Now I want to pinch it together again and slide it down into my Bodabra. And I'm going to make this one just a little bit smaller than that first one, maybe by about 1 inch. Push it down. Now here we are again. Remember, we want to twist it so the bottom side comes up. And then flip it over on itself to make that bunny loop, bunny ear loop. Pinch it together and slide it down. Now let me measure and make sure that these loops again are about the same. Now remember, I came down about 1 inch, so this will be about 1 inch smaller than our first ones. Okay, that looks good. And then I want to do another tail. And my first tail I did at 12 inches. So let's do this tail at 12 inches as well. And we can always cut this a little shorter when we get it on the project. I'd rather it be a little bit big than too small. Okay. I don't know if I've told you all this, but I have tendonitis in my elbow. So it's really slowed me down this week. And a couple of days ago, I started taking 800 milligrams of Motrin rather than just the 200. Well, I guess you do 400 if you do 2 of them. But, I mean, it starts in my elbow, and I'm self-diagnosed. I've not been anywhere, but it starts in my elbow, and it comes all the way down. I mean, it's hard to do the glue gun, to push that glue gun. It's hard to just push the button on my electric toothbrush in the morning. How crazy is that? Okay, so the next thing is this little piece comes with your Bodabra. So when you get it all together, you know, you're done with your bow, this part of it, you want to scrunch as hard as you can down there and just work that, because that tightness and that making it tight and small in the middle is what makes that bow fluff up and look really pretty. So then I'm going to take my chenille stem and just pull up, because remember it's underneath that, and I'm going to twist it really tight. It's as tight as I can, keeping all that bow together. And you want to make sure that bow stays stacked on top of each other. Do you see how that's all stacked in a nice straight line? That's what you want to see. Then I'm going to just twist it a couple more times to make sure it's good and tight. And the next step will be just to fluff this bow out. So I'm going to bring my tails down. Bring these tails down. And I love just to take my fingers, oh, this is hard on that hand, let me do this hand, and just go like this and give it just a little bit of a curl. I'll also show you in a few minutes how you can curl it up, but that just, you know, just gives it a little bit of a curl. I like that. Now, so we've got 6 ribbons on each side of this bow. So I'm going to hold it in the middle, and on the underneath that bottom row, I'm going to pull out my loops. Just pulling them like that. Now, on my other side, since I have the red bow on the top, I'm going to pull it out so I have the white bow on the top and the red bow coming down here on the bottom part. Just the opposite of what I did at the top, but I'm still going to leave the little Santa in the middle. So that's the first one, and then we have this second row here, and I'm going to pull the red one to the bottom. I'm going to pull the red Santa to the top, and we've got our green one, green and red, white, green and red. So let's do this one again. I'm going to pull the Santa to the bottom. I'm going to pull the red one to the top. No, I think I won't. I think I'll pull the red one just in the middle. Let's do the green one to the top. All right. So then you just kind of fluff it out. I'll tell you something that I've been really liking is putting a nice, cute, small ornament just right there in the middle. And I got, there were 16 of them like these, 16 of them at the Dollar Tree for $1. So we could do these all day. They're just these little tiny ornaments. Just add some glue. Aww. And then just stick it right there in the middle. I think it makes them really cute. Bow. So our next step is to put the bow on the candy cane. So I'm going to put it about right here where it starts to make that turn. So I'm going to get another chenille stem. And just going to make put that together and just make a little hole there that you can put that chenille stem through. And then twist the first one that you have to make that tight. This one wasn't long enough, the first one, after I went around the bow. It wasn't long enough to go around the candy cane as well. So I just needed a second one on there to go around this candy cane. So again, I'm just going to come up here to the top of it and go around. I'm going to add my bow. Oops. Just twisting it together so it's good and tight. If you don't get it tight, it will droop. And you don't want your bow to droop. Mine's drooping, so I don't have it tight enough. Don't want your bow to droop down. You don't want a bow looking down on your project. So again, I'm just twisting that as tight as I can get it. So have you ever had tendinitis? If you have, can you drop me in the comments what you did? I've been doing ice and ibuprofen. I tried to rest for a couple weeks, but hey, I got things to do and it's my right hand. So I drugged myself pretty good to be able to do this today. Okay, I told you I was going to show you how to curl. You want to curl your ribbons on the bottom here. And it's very simple. You just take a, what did I do with that? Something small, not too small though, just like a marker. And you just wrap your ribbon around that marker like that, and then you just pull it out. And then look, you got a curled ribbon. How cute is that? I'm going to dovetail my ends. I forgot to do that. To dovetail your ends, you fold your ribbon in half, and then from the folded side into the middle, you cut up, and that dovetails your ends. Just makes it a little finished end. So let's do the rest of them. That one looks like it needs cut across. Now I looked, I don't have a small enough floral pick, but if you could get like maybe some little balls or something coming out of the top of that, I think that would be really cute. But I've used all mine. Mine are for bigger things, bigger projects. I could probably cut some of it off, but okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I got all of those dovetailed. So I'm going to curl the rest of these ribbons just using this marker. You just wrap it around there and then just pull it out. You can make them just, you know, as long as you want them to be. Like these, I want to be a little bit longer, so I'm not going to make those quite as tight. Once I wrap it around there, just pull it down, wrap it around. Again, these I want to hang down just a little longer, so I'm just pretty much doing the ends on those. Wrap it around, and then just pull it back out. Very easy. And then you get this cute little look. I can get far enough away. I'll take a picture so you can see it really well. But there's your finished product, and you just hang it up. I hope this helps. Thank you.